Welcome to Greystone Capital Group, where we invite you to embark on an extraordinary journey towards a life of abundance and fulfillment. At Greystone Capital Group, we specialize in the transformative power of passive investing in commercial real estate. Your journey to financial freedom and a fulfilled life begins right here. Subscribe now and let Greystone Capital Group be your guide to shaping a brighter tomorrow.
Hello everyone, today I have a wonderful guest. Dr. Holt is with me on my podcast show today. And welcome to the show, Dr. Holt.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Great. So please share us about your background, how you get started into the multifamily real estate space, and how and what was your why of doing this?
So I am an immigrant originally from Nigeria, and I came into this country in the first I was visiting in the 80s and then finally decided to stay in the 90s. Prior to me coming to United States, I had a bachelor's, master's, and I actually started an MPhil PhD in organic chemistry.
Yeah.
But, I've always wanted to be a physician. I've always wanted to help and see how I can improve on humanity and, through my care and everything.
Yeah.
So when I got to United States, it wasn't quite as easy because I came as a visitor, but then I decided to stay, and I was a single parent, had two little children. So you can imagine the challenges that go into, first getting yourself situated before even start to talk about going to medical school.
Yeah.
Well, thank God with resilience and hard work and support from, community people, I was able to navigate through that. I did all kinds of jobs. I laid beds in hotels. I did dishes in hotels. I did a living, patient care assistant, home health assistant. And finally, I was able to raise some money to evaluate my transcript from back home. And once that transcript was evaluated, then I started teaching, which was yes, I had to write the teacher's exam in New York, and I started teaching as a substitute. Then I kind of got scared along the way because the schools they were sending me to were some kind of really tough schools, with those high school children, killing teachers, bringing guns to school. One of the schools I went to was where I first saw a metal detector, and I'm like, what is this?
Oh.
So anyway, yeah, so all of that, long and short of that, I then applied to work as a caseworker with the Administration for Children's Services. So I was investigating cases of child abuse, neglect, helping the families with services, taking them through all those abuse and, like situating those children, basically. We'll sometimes them with grandparents and stuff like that until the parents get themselves together. From there, I started looking into IT.
Okay.
IT. So I did all 6 modules of Microsoft, and I did Cisco certified. I became a Cisco certified network professional, working in one of the Fortune 500 companies in New York. And from there is when I was able to have a little bit more time, all this time, getting my children to an age where they can take care of their activities of daily living and preparing myself to go to med school. So I got into a pre-med program at the Farmingdale State University of New York. And from there, I went to medical school.
Okay.
So
Great.
that's where the saga began. So came back from medical school, did all my certification exams and became a practicing physician. But no, I didn't just do, so I did internal medicine, residency, and fellowship in nephrology. So graduated and started working. So I thought everything was going to be all rosy, that, now I'm finally made, I can live comfortably and everything. And that's when I got the rude awakening that no, that is just like I'm just beginning. Because when I realized how much debt I have from medical school, how much debt I piled upon myself because I have no business acumen. The first thing they teach us is you need to buy a home, which at the time I didn't know that buying a home first after college is really a liability, it's not an asset. And that's what people made us to believe then. So I came out of fellowship with more than $400,000 in medical school loans.
Wow.
I bought a house, about $350,000. I bought a car, $40,000. So I add all of this. I have all these notes to pay, and my salary is only like a quarter of all this debt that I have.
Right.
Then, on top of that, I found out that I now belong to a high income earner with a high tax bracket. So navigating through all of that, paying all these debts that I have, and still having to pay all these taxes is what made me start looking into legal ways of reducing my taxes.
I see. So you had a sort of Dan Hanford situation where Dan Hanford, if you don't know, he's a very successful syndicator. He's a chiropractor. He made a lot of income, and he wanted to reduce his taxes. That's how he got into syndications.
Exactly. So that's what made me start looking into alternative investments and stuff like that. And I also recall that when I was growing up, my dad used to send me to landlord association meetings, and I saw those old men, very wealthy, being able to send their children to school, even abroad, paying foreign exchange for their children in school. And so I know this man must know something that I don't know. So I dug further into the real estate, and that's when I realized it is a gold mine, but it's the best well-kept secret for some, so to speak, because maybe not so much of a secret, but because there's also a high barrier of entry, people just tend to, not want to even think about it. They think, oh, this is, I can't afford it.
Yes. Yeah, so then I think a lot of people in their mind is saying, I can't afford a large building because I can only find a small house. And they don't know how to go around that to actually achieve their goals. Yep.
Correct. So, but with everything, I think the individual mind is trained to just forget and say no to something because of not knowing. So that's when I started, learning about what does it really entail to manage this kind of, multifamily investments. But before I completely learn how to operate it, I started investing passively. So I invest with, some big ones like, Realty Mogul and all those things.
Yeah, Realty
And
Mogul.
yes. So every time, I would double up and go do some overtime and work weekends, make some money. As soon as I'm able to save $50,000, I just throw it into a syndication investment. And I did that so much that I have about 2,500 units that I'm invested in as a limited partner.
Yes.
While I'm also learning how to operate. So I then joined several memberships and mentorships to learn how to properly assess a building, know how to manage it, what are the things that I really need to look out for, which, you as a real estate investor yourself, I'm talking about the key performance indicators and stuff like that. And also learning about, even before you buy it, how do you evaluate it to know that this is a cash flowing business? Because if you buy it and it's not cash flowing, you in the red from day one, which means you're going to be struggling through it. So all those things are what I figured that if one doesn't really get to learn, it's very, very easy to lose money.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
So there's, you know, when they say somebody is lucky, no, it's not luck. Luck is when you prepare and then an opportunity comes. So first I was learning and waiting for that opportunity that
Yes.
I will be able to partner with some people, because I know I couldn't study by myself. And, you know, for everybody listening, real estate, multifamily investing is a team sport. You can't do it alone. I know some people can argue that they can do it alone unless you have a huge, you know, balance sheet that you can do everything. But even then, you still have to learn. You still have to have people, you know, that are going to be co-managing it with you.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Real estate is a team sport, and that's great. It's wonderful how you've done so many LPs. And normally the traditional path, I've seen many people like Trevor Thompson, my good friend, was an LP in many, many deals.
Yep.
And he started coming to me and said, "Hey, can I help you be boots on the ground?" And I said, "Right now, I'm, So he asked a lot of people to do that. So a similar trajectory where normally you invest passively first, then ultimately you want to get into the game and be active. And that's great. That's wonderful. I'm glad you had that passion. You have that kind of, motive to do that, And I guess you're still working as a full-time doctor, right?
I love what I do. There's nothing that puts a joy in my face than being able to put a smile in somebody's face, or being able to help somebody, because there's a lot of people that, you know, that a lot of family that surround that person, and, you know, helping them through difficult times. No amount of money can bring that.
Right.
So
So you still
yes.
do because you love that helping the humanity part, which is excellent. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And so let's talk about, so how do you now you trying to find deals, and how do you, I guess, raise your equity or capital?
So I can say that because of my profession, I am surrounded by high net worth individuals.
Yes.
So unfortunately, just like when I started, we didn't know anything about real estate investing. Everything we know is about mutual funds and stock, and, you know, and IRAs.
Yes.
So I found out that 90% of physicians, that's where they invest their money. Unfortunately, in the last 2 years, I came across some physicians that they wanted to retire, but they've been fighting to get their retirement money from the company they invested with for 3 years, and they were not able to get it. What happened was the company had changed hands, you know, ownership had changed hands like 3-4 times. And so it became a very, very daunting task for them to get their money back. And I also look at other physicians, you know, that are, you know, older, that they couldn't stop working until, even when they retire, they're still working because they don't have nothing.
I see. I didn't know there's no retirement or nothing.
Yes, I found out that a lot of them were living on lines of credit, and, you know, lines of credit is not theirs. Yes, it will provide them with the spending that they need at the time they need it, but ultimately that money is not theirs. So at the end of the day, they just keep working until retirement and past retirement because they don't have nothing to fall back on.
Oh, that's sad. That's very sad. Yeah.
Very sad. So that's when I started talking to them. Number one is that, look, those IRAs, you can convert them to self-directed IRAs, self-directed 401ks, and invest those money by yourself. So you don't fall into that predicament of when you're ready to retire, the money is not there, or you're scared that, you know, then there's not going to be Social Security, you know, and all those kind of retirement funds may not be there. So that's number one talking point for me. And that has helped me tremendously while I'm trying to raise capital. The second thing that I tell them, which is the number one reason why I went into real estate, is the tax advantage that the real estate investment brings to it. So, for example, yes, I know a lot of young people, they believe in, you know, the cryptos and all this other alternative investment and coins and stuff like that. Those things don't have the tax benefit. So they will make a lot of money from there, but they have to pay a lot also. So those are my next avatar that I'm talking to, that listen, go make this money. Now bring that money and invest it in real estate, because then you have that tax benefit.
Yes. Yes. Good. That's good. That's excellent. So you're doing what so you're educating your physician circles that there's an alternative investment. You can move to a self-directed IRA or solo 401k if you qualify for that.
Yes.
And you can control your own destiny through self-directing into these syndications where you get passive income, tax breaks, stability of cash flow, and everything that comes with the multifamily investing. Excellent.
Exactly.
Excellent. And I guess do you host like a meetup for your physicians, or how do you meet them or talk to them?
You know, physicians are very, very difficult to catch because of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at myself. My day starts at 5:30 in the morning.
Wow, really?
Sometimes, yes, because I mean, I round in dialysis and we have 3 shifts. So I have to see the first shift before they get off dialysis, the second shift, and the third shift in the evening. So the same thing happens to some, some physicians. If it's OBGYN, they probably stuck in the, operating room or something. So what I offer to them is a one-on-one.
One-on-one, okay.
Walk around their schedule.
Okay.
I can do weekends, I can do Sunday, I can do Sunday night. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whenever they have the time, I make it super comfortable for them. I walk around their schedule. So that has helped me tremendously.
Okay, great, great. So you have a one-on-one meeting with them, explain the benefits, educate why
Yes.
this is a good route, why you should
Yes.
diversify, and there's a reason why Wall Street controls don't want you to let you know the secrets, because they want the hedge fund, the managers wants to take a commission from you, even though you're losing money.
Exactly.
And that's why they don't want, they trap you in the ecosystem. That's the reason why.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
didn't really want to say it, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, no, but those are the truth. Right? That's what I learned from when I did a solo 401k. But Fidelity or these big guys don't want to leave because they want to trap you in the ecosystem, so
Yeah.
that they still want to manage it and make the fees,
Yeah.
and they don't want to tell no one else you're supposed to even do other stuff. So
Yep.
okay, great. Well, wonderful. And so what do you see now, Dr. Holt, in the market? Have you seen more opportunities, or how do you feel in the multifamily state of market?
You know, multifamily is something that would never go out of fashion. And if you go back in time, the 7 inflammatory periods in United States, real estate has surpassed them all around.
Okay.
Meaning it is truly recession resistant.
Yes. Yeah.
So what I'm seeing, regardless of what the market is, real estate is still going to make money. People are still going to need somewhere to live.
Yes.
Especially with what has happened in the, in the economy in the last 2 years, with the interest rate going so high, with the affordability of single family homes being so high
Yes.
that people cannot afford it. People actually feel boxed in. People that have homes cannot sell their homes. They cannot downgrade, because if they downgrade, they're gonna spend the same amount of money to buy something of less value.
Yes. And a
So
hot
they
price.
feel boxed in. Yes.
Yes.
So if the whole economy has now become a rental society, it makes real estate much more lucrative and a very, very good investment tool to go into.
Yes.
Because we always make money. People are always going to find, they're going to need somewhere to live, and they cannot afford to buy because of the state of the economy. So then they're going to rent. So I think that's a very, very good advantage for any real estate operator. But not just any real estate operator. It takes a very good real estate operator. This is the time that vetting real estate operators become extremely crucial.
Yes, yes. Only the really good ones who has a good system, operations, integrity will survive. And then the ones who are inexperienced or doesn't really understand it and doesn't put a lot of passion into it is not gonna do well. It's gonna weed them out, basically. So because it's a very tough business. It's a very tough business. I've been doing it for a long time. It's a very tough business. So
yeah.
Cool, cool. That's wonderful. And so what advice would you share? What was your best advice? Anyone who let's say they want to be a passive investor, what would you say? Just invest in a deal and see how it is. What's your advice as a passive investor?
Well, whenever I have one-on-ones with my investors, the first thing is I want them to have that financial education.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that they're educated, they went to school, doesn't mean that they know anything about, what is going on in the economy or the financial education. It is very important to have even the most rudimentary form of financial education, because that will help them a lot.
Okay.
And with that, when I'm talking to them, or when any other investor approach them, they will know the right questions to ask, so that they don't lose their money. It's very easy to make money, but also if you don't vet who you're going to invest in, or you don't know anything about the investment that you're going into,
Yes.
you can be taken for a ride, not because they want to, but maybe because of one thing or another, mistakes happen and stuff like that. Maybe they didn't prepare enough. Maybe the economic situation changes. But at least if they have that initial education, and they know, and they properly following with the assessment and the evaluation of the property, they will know what to look for. So that's the first thing that I go with them. I actually even, I developed a little course that I call Multifamily 101, that I define all the terms that they need to be aware of in that little booklet.
Okay, great. Is it on your website you can share?
I haven't put it on the website yet. I'm just finishing it up, but I have other things in there that, other educational materials in there. First, like how to vet operators. That is on the website. So they can go check it out on the website. What questions to ask, how to truly look at a property, and those things are there.
And what's your website called? What's the website called?
www.ProMeritCapital.com.
Okay. And Dr. Holt, what is your why in life, and how do you define life, number one, and then what is your why?
I think that definition of life is not something I really want to go into right now, but I can tell you my why.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Growing up, I've always wanted to help. Like I told you, I wanted to be a physician. Why did I want to be a physician? My grandmother lived with us in her old age. She died at the age of 94. At the time, I didn't know the ailment she had was called congestive heart failure, but I saw all the symptoms and everything that she had, and eventually she was struggling to breathe. There, maybe because we were also poor while I was growing up, the healthcare was not, she didn't get adequate healthcare that she needed. And I felt that that's also a barrier for a lot of people who are poor, that they cannot have access to good healthcare. So I decided right there and then that I wanted to be a physician so that I can help as many people as possible. And I don't know if you're a believer or not, but I'm a Christian, and I'm a very, very strong believer. I knew there were a lot of odds against me before going to medical school. The first one being age, because I went to medical school when I was 36 years old. So I kind of, made a covenant with God that if he sees me through medical school and I'm able to pass all my exams, I will provide healthcare for people who cannot afford it. And if God really bless me, I will sponsor communities that have poor healthcare, provide free healthcare to them, provide amenities to them that can really help them. Now, how can I do this? Even if I'm going to start a non-for-profit organization, I still need to have a little bit of funds to start it. Even if I'm going to join an already established, I have to have something that I'm bringing to the table. With my income as a physician and with the amount of taxes I was paying, I wasn't even able to save. I mean, it took me how many years before I can finally finish paying off my school loans? And then by that time, I add all those years to my age. Well, first of all, by the time I started practicing medicine, I was already 45 years old. So
Wow. So you're
when I
late
was
bloomer in that sense for medical
for medical,
practitioner.
so
Yeah.
so with all of that, and then my second why is that a month after I came to the United States, my sister died of uterine rupture. Again, not enough medical care, not adequate care. That is something that will never kill anybody in the United States.
Oh, it was back in your home country
Back in my home country, yes.
in Africa where
Yes, I
you didn't
came
have
here
adequate.
a month after my sister passed away in my home country.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty sad. Yeah. That's pretty
So,
devastating. Your own sister and your mother is devastating, you know. So
exactly. So,
mm,
that just kind of honed my why towards even more determined to help people as much as I can. When
okay.
I first started practicing nephrology, 50% of my patient population have no insurance and I have no collections from them, period.
Wow.
50% of my patient
Half.
population.
Half, yeah. Wow. That's a lot, yeah.
So, you know, that is my why. I want to still be able to, provide care for people, healthcare, maybe sponsor it, maybe my own, time. Maybe eventually, even when I retire, I still continue to do it as a hobby, but I want to be able to have enough income to be able to provide for these very, very poor communities. I think
Yeah.
that someday, God help me, maybe I can just go to a community and say, okay, you guys don't have no wheelchairs. I provide wheelchairs for everybody that is, unable to walk there. Maybe it's a stroke community. Maybe it's a school. Maybe they don't have any healthcare there. Maybe it's anemia plaguing them. I want to be able to just give back to the community.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I love that. Yeah, I love that. I love that initiative where you give back to community. And I think you live in a kind of south of Houston, so that's kind of much further away. So that could be a kind of rural community too, where
It is.
they
Actually,
need
I
it,
am
right? So,
15 away from the Mexican border, and we see a lot of people who do not have any sort of, medical insurance or whatever.
right. Oh, because I guess you have a lot of
Provide care for them.
Mexican patients, right? Patients are Mexican mostly, right?
Yes.
Because you're right in the border, so.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great, great. Wonderful. Now, what experience, Dr. Hall, you had that you learned from, like in your now, as you live your life and you have worked many years in your life, live your life. What did you experience in your journey that you can share, like in real estate investing? What do you want to share? Any experience?
I want to share so many things, not just in real estate investing.
Okay.
Number one is never stop learning.
Okay.
Never stop learning. Number two is be kind to people.
Yeah.
I don't believe I will get to where I am today if I did not receive help from people. And
Yes.
if you're good to people, people will be good to you
Yes.
overall. Number three, that financial education is very, very important, extremely important. I actually started to talk to a lot of the nurses in my community,
Yes.
and I share my life experiences with them. Some of those experiences actually I put in books. I'm an author in 3 books right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is called Powerful Immigrant Females. This is volume 2,
Okay.
where 24 of us wrote each chapter of that book, sharing our life experiences as an immigrant and how we were able to navigate through it. And the crucial thing that I see that, rings all across the board is that all those women never gave up in
Never
what
give up.
they and what they want. They
Mm-hmm.
never gave up. They were very resilient, very persistent, keep doing, little gains at a time. Even if there's, it's not a win, it's still a win. Just keep, tagging along and
Mm.
improving yourself day by day.
Okay, that's a very important tip. Just don't give up and persevere and and move forward. Have a passion, move forward, continue.
Yes. Now, as far as the financial education is concerned, I encourage everybody to have a journal. Record how much you make, record how much you spend, because it's very easy to earn money, but it's not very easy to keep it or to save it.
Yes.
So they have to be very, very prudent in keeping what they're making. And so they can allow that money to work for them and work smart rather than working hard.
I see. Yes. True. It's hard to keep the money and then invest the money so it could grow for you and compound and get that kind of work for you, not the other way around where you always, so.
When you're always working.
Yes.
I've gotten to a point in my life now that I could retire if I wanted to, because I've had enough. I mean, I've had a lot of investment, not enough, but I've had a lot of investments. But while I'm working, I'm being very, very prudent with my money. I look at everything. If I don't need to spend that money, I'm not going to spend it. Every little money that goes on, oh, I can just treat myself. Yeah, you treat yourself this week, you treat yourself next week. Before you know it, the money is gone. So,
Yes.
Those kind of financial literacy, they can, learn those kind of things. There's a book I'm reading, the Power of Money. Okay.
Yeah.
Those kind of books will help them to be able to structure their lives. No matter how much little their income is, they will still be able to save. And then once they have enough, they can begin to invest in real estate. Now, as far as real estate advice is concerned, I know there's different ways of investing in real estate. As you know, there's fix and flip, there's this, mobile home park, storage. Diversify your portfolio. If you have to, diversify your portfolio so you don't keep all your eggs in one basket. But at least once you have the financial literacy, you'll be able to understand all those investments.
Yep.
And my passion is the multifamily, because I believe that is, like the king of all investments.
Okay.
It's a tangible investment. If you manage it very, very well, it does not lose its value. It continues to appreciate.
Yep.
And this is something you can hand over to your generation. It's called creating generational wealth. So if you're able to get into the multifamily, don't be scared that the barrier of entry is high. Just even if it's $25,000 you have, even if it's $50,000, start somewhere. Start by investing passively. Learn. If you so much desire to be an operator, you can learn while you're still investing as a passive investor. But for people in my avatar, physicians, they don't have the time. So I just want them to have that trust that their money is safe. That they have a trusted operator.
Yes.
Who will not only preserve and conserve their money, but will help them grow their investment and make it multiply.
Yes. Well, it's awesome, Dr. Holt. I like that. I like the fact that you tell all the stories and how you help your community and your avatars, your medical professionals, you're a medical professional yourself, and how you educate them to have a financial future. That's great. Awesome. Well, in conclusion, anything else you want to share? Help you reach out to you if you want to talk to you.
So if anybody wants to reach out to me, look me up on LinkedIn. It's Dr. Yinka Holt. And I'm also on Instagram as Yinka Holt Real Estate. On Facebook, Ola Yinka Holt, MD. My website is www.promeritcapital.com. And you can also book a Calendly call, where I can sit down with you and help you find out what your investment goal is and how we can help you channel those funds into the right channel.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, Dr. Holt. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jonathan. Have a blessed day.